Hello and welcome to Threads from the Wheel. I'm Monica. This is my co-host,
I
Heather.
am Heather.
And we're here to talk about The Wheel of Time, Season 3, Episode 5, Tel'aran'rhoid. Initial thoughts.
I enjoyed it. Um, the beginning gave us a glimpse into the Sarkanon stone and its ability to
Hmm.
juice Moraine up.
Oh,
At,
yes.
at points, she was glowing. I
Hmm.
was almost afraid she was going to hurt herself with it.
Hmm.
It was
Yeah.
crazy.
Something I remembered after the last time we talked, I was telling you about the two statues that this and they're jerry-rigging Kalendor to replace the two statues that you use the children call access keys to be able to utilize because they're just you can't do it directly. They're holding a sphere like what Moraine has been using. And I'm sorry, it is
Okay.
pollen season where we are, and they are kicking my butt. Mm.
Bless you. Yeah, I'm well drugged at this
Oh,
point.
the
It's the
count
only
today
way
was
my
somewhere
eyes
over
aren't
today's count was
sealed.
somewhere over 7,000.
Ugh,
So
stupid trees.
yes, stupid trees. Um, so yeah, Moraine struggling there with that sphere. Um, and it's a lot. Um, it's no wonder that she's having trouble controlling it because it is just so much.
It seemed like it could just destroy her like
Mhm.
that.
Um, Angriel and Saw Angriel in the books have a fail-safe to where it won't let you draw that much. So an Angreal in one person's hand might not be as powerful in someone else's, just based on what they can do alone. But but without burning themselves out. But they've already sort of broken that because you're supposed to have the same sort of built-in fail-safe when you link with someone. And we saw that at the end of season one. That's not going to be part of this telling of it. Uh, then our characters are walking through the threefold land, talking about how the other clan chiefs will react to Rand, and will they react like the Shido did? And one of the wise ones says something about he's not one of us, no thanks to you, talking to Amanda. You cannot teach someone who will not learn. So just like that.
Cannot.
Cannot. Cannot. And she does that in the books too. And I'm like, oh, you did not do yourself any favors there, child.
I fully expected her after the cannot. Don't you mean will not or would not?
Yeah. Then they get to Cold Rock's Hold, and we meet Leon, Rourke's other wife. Um,
That's how I have her listed. Otherwise,
yeah. Well, and even in the books, this is the only time we meet her. It is when they're at Cold Rock's Hold because, and she's the roof mistress. She stays at Cold Rock's Hold. Um, and something I didn't realize, apparently they're not, they're skipping Amis, who was a wise one. She was the one who was married to Ruark. Apparently they've blended her and Bear, which, okay, yeah, I get. Um,
it does ease certain
yeah,
parts of stories. It makes it maybe not better, but easier
yeah.
to deal with.
And
One
I
of my favorite shows, they put like five different characters into one who had a very minimal part in the actual books,
Mm, yeah.
but
Um,
it made for really good TV.
the younger one I think is Melaine. Um, and she's it in the books. Um, oh, that's something else I realized after we spoke last. I was saying how, yeah, I was kind of expecting um what one of Alana's to die. It should have been Maxim. Maxim isn't in the books at all. Ivan was Alana's warder. When we first meet Alana's warder, the other one had just died, but Maxim wasn't his name. We never actually meet him, so I don't remember his name.
Mm.
But so I no idea why they chose Maxim over Ivan. Um, but then we have Ruark's great daughter coming up.
She was so cute.
She was adorable. Are you the Karakarn?
And then he pulls up his sleeves and her little eyes. She's so
Yeah.
precious.
And he grins. He's like chases her around. I'm like, oh, I like this Rit so much better.
And they cut to Egwene, and she just looks so sad because I think
Mhm.
she was regretting everything.
Yeah. Well, I think she's starting to realize that they are becoming different people
Hmm.
than who they were. And even when they were still in Tarvalon, she said when we're together, it feels like nothing's happened.
Bless you, bless you.
But in fact, everything has changed.
Yeah. And she finds out how much at the end.
We're getting it.
I know, I know.
Oh, and then we're in Swan's study, and she's smelling a letter. That's gotta be from Marway.
Hmm.
The way she was holding it, it's
And
gotta be.
that little strong box on her desk. Keep nosy sisters out.
Yes. Yes. And in the books, that weave is set to it if someone other than her opens the box instantly bursts into flame and will probably singe the fingers of whatever busybody was opening it.
Ah, that would
So,
be a nice weave to know.
yes. So maybe we'll get to see that. Maybe, maybe not. Uh, and Lyda comes in and
Smelled her
it's
perfume
a
before she arrived.
yes. And
It's so hard when you love the actress, but you do not care for her character at all.
um and I when she first came on screen, I'm like, I know that voice from somewhere.
Hmm.
And I looked her up and I have seen her in several things, but it's been smaller parts and a long time ago for some of the things. So it's like, okay, it makes sense that well, I mean, that's a pretty recognizable voice.
Hmm.
It's actually from a botched surgery back in the 70s.
I didn't know that. I
Yeah,
didn't think she was a smoker,
no,
but she
no,
does sound like one.
yeah, yeah. She thought it was going to end her career instead of defining it. But yeah, they get in a spat, and Elida is herself. Um, it's something my mom mentioned a couple of episodes ago when um, Elida was sorry, when Swan was talking with Queen Margaze. She said it really sounded like Margaze was looking down on her, and I didn't catch that. But listening to Elida here and knowing that Elida has been her advisor for 20 years, and yeah, Morghese is a strong woman, she's also been brought up to trust Anais Sedai. 20 years of hearing the same thing will wear anyone down. So whether she realizes it or not, yeah, she's been
Got,
impacted.
yep. No, she said you assume your style doesn't matter. This tower used to be a shining example to the world. And she talks about how her chairs are simple and the scratchy rugs under Royal's feet. And,
Yeah.
oh, good Lord.
You haven't fooled me. You're the same as you the day you arrived. River trash.
Yeah.
As if I didn't like the woman already.
Like I said, it is terrible when you love the actress, but you don't like her character. I like the way Kate Fleetwood plays Leandrin, but I hate
Yeah.
Leandrin's
You're
character.
supposed to hate Leandra. Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. Um,
Sorry.
no worries. Um, but then she says, "Oh, I'm gonna bring this up before the hall, like you should have already done." And Swan says, "I presume you have a better handle on it now than the last time you went against me in the hall." The look on her face. And then she just changes the subject.
But of course.
"Oh, well, where's Moraine? I know you've heard from her. People don't change." Like, okay, doesn't mean they're still in love with their college sweetheart. Because in the books, that's kind of what they were. High school, college age, and they're in their early 40s now. Not many people still carry that torch, but she has it figured out, even though she hasn't been here in 20 years. And then just another example of Alida assuming she knows everything.
It was ham handed, like dealing with the Red Sisters,
Hmm.
assuming that they could be bought with gaudy treasures and strawberries.
You keep it. It suits you.
It's far too gaudy for me.
Yes. Mm. Uh, so then Swan goes to Varen and, "Please tell me Elida's Black Aja."
So I can take her head.
And Varen is very measured. Excuse me. She's like, "We can't just say it just because we want it to be true, basically. We need evidence." Um, and then we have Alana and Maxim in Emmons Field. And Maxim is trying to persuade her to leave. Tender threatening her to leave.
You could go to the shore. There's that store you love so much.
Um, Abudar? I think I forget where it was. But I thought you had your eye on that baker boy. I did. Have you tried the bread?
He bangs it on the table. It's like a brick.
The rock. Yes. So then we have Bane, Shiad, and Fail coming racing in, saying the White Cloak reinforcements have gotten to the mountains. If we're gonna get the coffins, we have to go now. And then we're back to Rand and crew having a meal, and Avienda instructing him.
With the right hand.
Yes, yes. You don't have to do this. At an Aiel meal, it is customary to speak with individuals to either side of you, unless you are someone who has to instruct instead of enjoy the meal.
She
Yeah,
was not. She was not having a good day. Just not a good day.
not in the least. No, no. And then Maureen gets up and leaves. Oh, the former monkey area lady getting Lan to eat the bug. Oh, not head first. It'll scratch all the way down.
It'll bite your throat all the way down. Oh God. I'm not eating. I'm not eating zoo bugs. It's not happening.
um, and Egwene is with Bear and Melaine, about to enter the dream. Um, so a person has ultimate control in their own dream, which is why it's a bad idea to enter someone else's dream, because then you become however it is they see you. Of course, it's also possible to pull someone into Tel'aran'rhoid, but that's something only the Forsaken do. Uh, we don't know why. It's just that's what the wise ones say. Whether it's there's some harm done by it, maybe there isn't. It just became so synonymous with the Forsaken that nobody else would dare do it just 'cause.
Well,
Um,
in your dreams, you're more open subconsciously to things. So the Forsaken's power would be that much stronger because you're at their will.
and to bring a non-Tel'aran'rhoid person into Tel'aran'rhoid, that would be even more so. Because if you go into their dreams, you're just screwed. But someone who knows what they're doing in Tel'aran'rhoid could really mess with you.
Yeah. It was neat how when they went into the dream, Egwene's clothes changed when she got scared. Her armor came back up. Anna noted it was open at the neck.
Yes.
Again, she's not having anything near her throat ever again.
No, no. I thought it was an interesting visual thing because in the books, we never actually see it change. It's just a matter of it was one thing and now it's something else. And then the person looks down and goes, "Oh, where'd that come from?" Uh, well, you let your mind wander. That's what happened. Uh, and then Egwene goes to Tarvalon. I don't know if she actually went, or she had a stray thought about Tarvalon, or if Lanfear pulled her there.
It wasn't clear to me.
I mean, um, so when she comes back, I think it was Melaine asked her, "How could you leave?" And she said, "I simply believed I could." So maybe that's the entire explanation. Maybe it's somewhere in between. I mean, it's semantics at this point. Um, and then we have Elida and Alviarin doing a walk and talk in the halls of the tower. What did you make of the first time you've really met a white sister?
I don't think she was on the screen long enough to get a real
Yeah.
idea of her, but she's worked to destroy the tower from within. Okay.
Well, we don't see many white sisters in the books. They're just there aren't very many of them in proportion to everyone else. Um, so then, oh, Elida sees Aldeas, Adelias, get my tongue tied, and goes over to say hi and snoop about Varen.
Takes her from her keeper.
Yeah. What was it? Leave or I will birch you myself, accept it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, and then the accepted goes and immediately tells
She took the
Leon,
bait.
yeah, Leon that Elida took the bait. Uh, then, oh dear God, we have Elaine, Nynaeve, and Matt in a boat on the way to Tenchico.
Poor Nynaeve.
Nynaeve never does get over her seasickness, and it's
Oh, poor Nynaeve. She is just so
um,
sick. And
and it's just as bad in the books. Yes.
and Elaine prattling on about Tenchico, and
Yeah.
Matt is just going mad.
Yes. I and that is exactly what it would be like being cooped up with the two of them on a boat. Yes.
Well,
I feel for Matt. I really do.
she did say, "What's your plan? Get drunk and ask at
Yeah.
the tavern how to find the
And
Black Hutch."
in the old tongue,
In the old, yes, I forgot the old tongue.
um, I think her idea was okay, well, one, this is necessary information. Two, maybe it will keep Nynaeve's mind off of the fact that we're in a boat. I mean, clearly doesn't help.
Now that poor
Uh,
child was down to 9 toenails. It was bad.
she didn't have nine left. Um, and Matt insists on going up deck, up top.
But
No,
they point
Matt, we
they
can't. We must stay in this room. That is the only thing we promised the sail mistress in exchange for passage to Tanchico. That's only because she didn't want Nynaeve throwing herself overboard.
that was an
An
option.
option. Ah.
I felt so for her at that moment. I've had minor dizziness on a cruise, but
Uh-huh.
never severe
Yeah, no, I've never been through it.
seasickness.
Yeah. Um, so they go up top and they do manage to get permission to be up there. And Matt sees Min.
You're
My question,
following me because you're obsessed with me.
my question is, how on earth did Min get passage? Because she's not a stowaway. That there's just no, she ain't
No,
that
that
sneaky.
the
How did,
cabin's too. She's got is too way too nice to be a stowaway.
well, she's not that sneaky, and the sea folk are too smart for that. Um, so she must have somehow after they got their passage and went below decks, then she must have come up and been like, "Oh yeah, how much to wherever they're going?" You know. But yeah, I definitely looked side eye at it. I'm like, how you be that sneaky and not so sneaky as to sneak past the sea folk? But yeah.
Yeah, Elaine had noticed that they were traveling too fast before they
Hmm.
go up to the
Yeah.
decks, and is trying to figure it out. And then when they get on deck, she sees
But
how they are
not quite
traveling
yet.
so
We're not
fast.
there yet. But yeah. And then we're back to the White Cloak camp. We have the coffins in a cage. And Dane tries to question them again. And Natty tries to make a move for the keys. He catches her, and Bodwin Kaufman channels for the first time.
I didn't see who it was, and I tried rewinding it, and I blinked and missed it again. So
I'm only
I
saying
wasn't
Bode
sure.
because I know in the books she can channel.
I didn't know who it was, but I knew one of them had tried to channel, and Mama took credit.
Yeah. Um, in the books, it starts during puberty, and for those born with a spark, um, there something comes along that you wanted more than anything you've ever wanted in your life, and that's what breaks through. Um, it's that kind of knee-jerk reaction, but that's what allows you to touch the source for the first time. It's an accident, sort of like it in Harry Potter, and how weird things just happen around them. Kind of.
When his cousin fell into the snake pit. And,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Um, and like you said, Natty takes credit for it, and Dane literally throws Natty to Valda.
Yeah, I
Um,
have in my notes, he needs to die.
yes, he does. He does.
I've not liked him from the moment he appeared on
Mm.
screen.
I didn't like him in the books, and I like him less in the show than I did in the books. Um, I didn't like him there either. But in the books, the White Cloaks weren't nearly the threat that they are in the show. Um, unless one of them can manage to, uh, look, as we see later, shoot arrows from a distance, that's pretty much the only way, excuse me, a non-channeler is going to kill someone who can channel. Um, or sneak up on them in their sleep or something. Uh,
It seems to me like a He-Man woman hating club.
yeah, yeah. Under the guise of religion,
Mm-hmm.
as they started off as monks. Um, and then Perrin and crew sneak into the White Cloak camp.
Well,
And
Perrin,
well, no, they're outside the White Cloak camp discussing the plan. And Fael says, Annie, pull the
and
knife on Perrin.
Perrin's like, no. She pulls a knife. Perrin
With
counters.
her!
She kicks Perrin's butt, and the 9-year-old girl's like, with her.
Yeah, and her. um, and then Maxim and Alana get in a fight uh, because he wants them to make decisions together, and she's like, no,
You never even told me why we're here.
yeah,
We're here because you're not enough. We win battles with armies.
not politics. Yes,
She's
army of
wanting.
farmers.
There's more to Varen in the two rivers. 5 of them that were already found. There's got to be more. So yeah,
The blood of Manetheren still runs here. Yeah. And Maxim just leaves to go find Leandrin because he's more heartbroken than anything else at this point. Um, Lan and the uh, former Malkieri Aielman chat and have a nice little conversation about, well, what do you miss about Malkier? Because he doesn't remember it.
he was a baby. He said
Yeah,
when it fell.
yeah. Um, and Egwene leaves Rand's room to go join the Wise Ones. and study with them. And he's like, "Oh, okay, well, you
We
forgot
haven't had
me."
it. We
Yeah,
haven't had a moment alone since.
yeah. But he knows that this is important to her. So,
But he also, after she leaves, he sits down and you can see that he realizes he's alone now.
yeah. And then we have Maureen and Lan sitting at the fire, and she tells them what she saw in the rings.
I won't be at the last battle. Every future where I lived, Rand dies. Lan confronts her with, "Do you die tonight?
No.
Well, then you can have a drink with your friend." And he pulls out some
Yes.
usquoy.
Have
And
you
the,
have you tried this ale usquai?
the look on Moraine's face when she drinks it lets me know that that is not for me.
I've always thought of it as tequila.
Definitely not for me then. No.
Well, because they make it from cactus. And that's all we that and it's really strong. It's all we know about it um in the books. I think they might have said it's clear, but
Yeah, no.
yeah, that's all we got. Um, and then we have um Matt in men's quarters,
And he's just so happy because it's quiet. There's no vomiting and no one lecturing.
and I'm sure no smell of vomit, maybe
Mm-hmm.
not as strongly. Um, and then Matt finds one of her drawings.
And is totally freaked out.
And he said, "Well, I'm not killing myself." So that's the end of that. And I didn't kill Rand. So
Your your
not,
your
yeah.
visions don't come true because I didn't kill Rand.
But did we see what her vision was?
I don't remember, but
Because
he
I'm
didn't kill
thinking she saw Matt stab Rand and assumed Rand would die from it.
him.
She
Maybe.
nearly did.
He's still got that mark that will never heal.
Hmm. Yep. Um, my other question is, who says it's self-inflicted, Matt? Okay. But Matt wants to believe he has control of the situation. So if he doesn't do it, then it can't happen, right?
Right,
And
right.
that's his story. That's he's gonna stick to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested to see how they're going to play that one out in the show because um it happens in the books. He survives. But they're not using that storyline. So we'll see. Um and then we've got Elaine and Nynaeve sleeping on deck and wake up to find the Windfinder doing her thing.
That looked like fun.
Yeah. And that's why Aes Sedai are not allowed passage on um, defolk ships because they want to keep their Windfinders a secret. Now, not all of their Windfinders can channel, but if you are someone who can channel or learn to channel uh, among them, then you're forced to become a Windfinder. Just like if you were an Aiel, you'd be forced to be a wise one. Um, excuse me. Uh, the sail mistress and her read on Nynaeve. You don't like to relinquish control. Lane laughs. I'm like, yeah.
It's a nice way of saying control freak.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh.
yes.
Hmm. Then Matt brings Min into the other room and introduces her to Elaine and Nynaeve. And Nynaeve recognizes her from Faldara, and Elaine recognizes her from the tower. Yeah, she's the Armelin spy. Not a very good spy if everybody knows.
But can we trust her, Matt? Nynaeve asked. And Matt says yes.
Yeah, I was.
She's actually been to Tanchico, so she might be a help.
Yeah, yeah. And then she starts giving them the talking to, especially Matt, behave yourself.
And we see the hanged man.
Yes.
He's like, yes, best behavior. Sure. As anyone would.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't mess around in Tenjigo. Um, and then Elida goes to the 13th depository to see the Black Sisters and starts interrogating them. Uh, and was about to get something out of one of them. And a gray man stabbed her in the back.
I have in my notes, her find out has no FA.
Oh, she does a lot of FA, just not enough FO.
She was
In the
trying.
books.
If it hadn't been for that gray man, she might have gotten something.
Yeah. Um, and Swan and Leon burst in and save her. And Liana kills the gray man. Swan heals Elida. I might have misjudged you, sister.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be an interesting change in dynamics. Of maybe. Uh, I mean, Elida has clearly hated Swan for a long time. Uh, yeah,
Well, she's the Amelin seat, and Elida's not.
yeah, yeah. That's Elida's biggest problem. She's the one in control. God. Elida versus Nynaeve. I don't think they meet in the books. At least nothing comes to mind, but that would be funny. Um, so then we're back in the Two Rivers, and Alana is still weaving the cloud cover for the others. And Perrin is walking through and he sees a wolf's head on a spike.
Yeah, that's not going to end well for the White Cloaks.
No, no. And Dane says something to one of the other White Cloaks and calls him Child Bayar. Yeah, he's in the books. In the books, at least he goes extra red pill nutso. Um, he just hates Perrin for no real reason and convinces Dane to hate him for no real reason. He doesn't kill Jeffrem in the books. Uh, so yeah, maybe this child by hour isn't gonna go nuts. Eh, we'll see. Perrin and the others sneak into the coffin tent. And he explains, yeah, these are friends. We're gonna get you out of here.
And
Follow them. Yeah.
the girls were afraid of the Aiel.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the stories they've heard over the years, the Aiel are fierce warriors who kill everybody. Um, he says, you go with them, I'll get your mother.
Mm-hmm. Famous last words.
I didn't connect it the first time I saw. I mean, I saw the burned remains. I was like, okay, where's Natty? And then we're on to a different scene, and I'm like, okay. And it was the second watch that I was like, damn it, I didn't want to believe it. I did
Yeah,
not want to believe.
first watch, I wasn't sure if she was dead or not.
Yeah,
And then, yeah.
yeah. At first, I didn't connect it at all, and then I was like, oh, no, that's not supposed to happen. Um, and I don't envy Valda when Matt finds out. He will be lucky if all Matt does is kill him.
I wanted to see it.
I don't remember offhand what happens to him in the books. Um, I know he doesn't make it, but I don't remember how it happens. Um,
It'd be too good for him.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So Alana is still out on the edges, channeling the fog cover, and the white clicks sneak up on her and start shooting her. Uh, and then Dane walks in on, or comes up on Perrin, breaking everybody out, and Perrin says, "I thought you were a good man," referring to what they did to Natty. Excuse me. And Dane says, "I was until I met you." Child, literal child.
So it's parents'
Other
fault.
people don't control your actions. You're a supposedly grown adult.
Yeah, and
I,
it's
that is your
it's
problem, not his.
it's parents' fault that he's a piece of human garbage.
Yeah, that's Dane from the books. Everything's parents' fault. Um, so then a fight breaks out, and Parent and Fael both kill White Cloaks, defending each other. Um, and then we've got Alana on the ground, full of arrows. She's trying to get up, and this White Cloak starts taking out his sword and do the final, and then Max does his water thing and just slaughters them all. And Alana picks up an arrow with the power, throws it in White Cloak.
But how did you know? You turned the bond back on 5 arrows ago.
That was in my notes too. Um, so then we have Rand in the Mountains of Mist of Tel'aran'rhoid, and then Fear approaches him. They have a talk and end up making out. Uh,
Is Rand really thinking he can hook up with the devil, basically?
when Rand went through the columns, he didn't just see the memories; he lived the lives. He has the memories of that Aiel who worked for Lanfear way back when. So he has memories, quote unquote, of her being a good, kind, loving person.
3 millennia ago, maybe.
before the Shadow was released, before the War of Power, um, but he still sees that. I think he
It's
sees it
just
because he wants to hang on to Celine, the woman he believed she was when they first met. And he wants a nice, quiet life somewhere. He doesn't want to be the Dragon Reborn. He doesn't want this responsibility. He doesn't want any of it. He wants to go live his life and let the world just do its thing. Um, we don't always get what we want.
to quote
So,
Dennis Leary, life sucks, get a helmet.
yeah. hmm Um, and then Egwene goes into Maureen's tent. You asked for me. Egwene, who just promised,
Was was told not to do this, is
yes,
doing the exact thing she's told
you
not to
will
do.
not go into Tel'aran'rhoid without permission of a wise one. What does she do 5 minutes later?
Well, it's just par for the course. I mean,
Yeah.
a few episodes ago, Moraine's telling them, "Don't show yourselves in
In
town.
town.
Cover
Mm-hmm.
your hair. Leave your
Yeah.
weapons.
Yeah.
Don't start a bunch of
And do
stuff."
none of
And what
that.
did they do? They
None of
started a
that.
bunch of stuff. Now, granted, Egwene was not out in a pub with the Horn of Valyr having his portrait made, or excuse me, having her portrait made, and telling everybody she's the hornblower and calling
Yeah.
Rand the dragon and blah blah blah. She wasn't mad.
Dragon head up your dragon ass.
Yes.
I did Egwene go out?
No, no, she stayed in and drank with
Yeah,
Nynaeve and
Nani.
Elaine.
Yeah, Elaine went out. For a bit anyway. But yeah. And so she ends up hooking Moraine up with Swan. Um, and they get to have their moment of I now know two things. And the tower must bend the knee to Rand al'Thor if he is to win the last battle. And then she tries to turn around and walk off.
And Swan's like, "What? Wait, no, you can't do
No,
that."
you can't. At least phrase it differently. At least say, I've been through the rings in Radion, and I know this. The tower must bend the knee. I- Nobody said you had to mention that there was anything else.
But she did.
Because I don't know. Um, and they had this really sweet moment where Swan went in for a kiss, and Marion's like, "We broke what we had. Then we'll get it right in the next life. And I will wait for you."
Every time.
Yeah. Um, Reminds me of one of my favorite scenes in the books. But um, so then Egwene starts dream hopping to everyone else's dreams. And Nynaeve is with someone. First time I watched it, I just assumed that was younger Egwene. But the
I'm,
second time through, I had the subtitles on, and there was a different name. I didn't recognize it.
I'm pretty sure that was her child from when she went through the arches.
I was wondering if that was her name.
That's what I assumed it
Mhm,
was,
mhm.
because she actually did try to bring the child back through the arches.
Right. I forgot. Oh, that's been so long ago. Um, And then we have Elaine as a wind finder with
With
Avienda.
the with Avienda, yeah.
And
Matt and
Matt,
his sisters,
yes,
his
you'll never
mom,
have to sleep on the floor again.
and his mom. I'm so proud of you.
Like I said, Valda will be lucky if all Matt does is kill him.
If that happens on the screen, it needs to be brutal. Like missing pieces, brutal.
Mhm. And then we have Perrin at his forge with Hopper. Get to see Hopper again. And Fail. Then Rand, sitting up there in the mountains of mist.
You've heard stories of women freaking out. They dream that their significant other cheated on them, and
Mhm.
they're mad at their significant other for cheating on them in their dream.
Mhm.
What do you do when your significant other is cheating on you in his dream with the woman
Who
that's
tried to
trying to
kill
kill
you?
you in the dream world?
In your dreams. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of
I,
harsh.
I don't think Elaine, sorry, Egwene ever, I don't think she knew it was Lanfear. So, um, I don't think she told Rand that, oh, this isn't, um, Shan woman's name, whatever. Um, so I think if Rand knew, I mean, he knows this is Lanfear. He already should know better. I think if he knew what Lanfear was doing to Egwene, things would be different. Even though that shouldn't matter a hill of beans versus what the mountains and mountains of horrendous stuff Lanfear has already done that everybody knows about. I still think it would make a difference for Rand.
It's just being a little romantic child at this point, I guess.
He must have his little fantasy that he can just go off and have a quiet life, and he does that in the books too. He fights it too. He fights it so much harder in the books than he has been here. Uh, but yeah, that's that's episode 5.
Yeah, I have in my notes it was a crap place to end.
Yeah. So did you have a favorite moment or line or excuse me?
That's an option.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you tried this Aiel Usquai? And specifically Moraine's reaction to it.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that about does it for us. And yeah, till next time. We will see y'all next Tuesday. Uh, night.